Have you ever, observed a child or student with ADHD who constantly fidgets, or maybe melts down over a scratchy shirt,
Hmm.
or just seems completely tuned out in a busy place?
Yeah, those are really common observations.
We often think, okay, that's attention, maybe hyperactivity, but
Yeah.
what if it's more? What if those are actually vital clues to something deeper, often missed?
Exactly.
Today, we're unlocking that powerful link, the connection between ADHD and sensory needs.
It's a really crucial connection.
And this deep dive, well, it's really for you, whether you're an OT tuning up your assessments, a PT looking for those broader insights, maybe an educator dealing with classroom dynamics day in, day out.
Or even students themselves or parents at home.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Our mission here is to take these great sources. We've got some really groundbreaking research reviews, practical guides, and just boil them down.
Get to the core nuggets of knowledge.
Yes, to help you better understand and really truly support individuals navigating life with ADHD.
And it's such a significant topic, especially now, with what the new research is telling us.
Okay.
Because, while most people get the attention and movement challenges with ADHD, there's this major 2025 systematic research review.
The big one.
The big one. It's definitively confirmed something really profound. Sensory processing differences. They're far more common in folks with ADHD than we maybe thought.
Wow. Okay.
And it's not just a small detail. These differences, they really impact daily life in huge ways. So yeah, it's critical for anyone supporting individuals with ADHD.
Okay, so let's unpack that, this crucial connection. Before we jump into the latest findings, what exactly do we mean by sensory needs? We hear the term, but what is it really?
Yeah, good question. At its core, sensory needs refer to the specific amount and also the type of sensory input a person needs to feel, comfortable, calm, focus in their environment.
Okay.
Think of it like a spectrum, really. It's dynamic. On one end, you've got people who are super sensitive, that's hyperreactivity.
Right.
They get easily overwhelmed. Too much input. A loud noise, a flickering light, even someone lately brushing past them can feel, well, genuinely intense, assaulting almost.
Wow. Okay.
Then on the other end, you have hyporeactivity. Some individuals just don't register sensory input very well.
So they need more.
Exactly. They might actually seek out really intense stimulation just to feel alert, engaged, present.
Uh-huh.
And the challenge really comes when the brain struggles to filter or interpret or maybe organize all this information flooding in from our senses.
All the time.
Constantly. And when that processing goes a bit haywire, it hits everything. Behavior, learning ability in different places, even emotional regulation. It's really foundational to how we interact with the world.
That spectrum idea makes so much sense because you do see such different reactions.
Yeah.
So speaking of foundations, what does this big 2025 review tell us? How does sensory processing specifically differ in people with ADHD? What's changing our view here?
Yeah, that 2025 review, it's a game changer. Partly just because of the scale,
Right, the numbers.
30 studies, over 5,000 participants. Comparing those with ADHD to those without. And the findings. Not subtle. There are clear, distinct differences pretty much across the board in sensory processing.
Like what? What stood out?
Well, for instance, the research found individuals with ADHD were significantly more likely to be highly sensitive.
The hyperreactivity.
Exactly. To sound, touch, light. Imagine being that kid in the classroom where the fluorescent lights buzz just a bit too loud.
Ugh, I hate that buzz.
Right. And every little whisper feels like a shout. It's not just preferring quiet, it's a genuinely overwhelming experience. Causes real distress, makes it incredibly hard to focus or even just be there.
So it's not just being picky. It's a real physical or neurological experience for them.
Absolutely. It's how their system is processing that input.
Does the research also talk about the other side, like not getting enough input?
It does, and that's where the nuance comes in, which is fascinating. The review also highlighted that many individuals with ADHD tend to actively avoid certain sensory experiences.
Okay.
So that could look like, refusing to wear certain clothes because the fabric feels wrong.
The scratchy
Or
jumpers.
classic scratchy jumper, or actively avoiding messy play or getting really upset in crowded, busy places, school cafeterias, malls,
Overload.
total overload. Their system is basically trying to protect itself.
Makes sense.
But then, conversely, you have those who seem to miss sensory input almost entirely. That's called low registration.
Low registration. Okay.
These might be the kids or adults who seem kind of zoned out, don't seem to hear their name called, even if you're right there, or they bump into things, people, almost like they're not fully registering where their body is in space.
That sounds disorienting.
It really can be. Imagine trying to navigate a world where the signals are just muffled sometimes. And interestingly, the research noted these low registration behaviors can sometimes get more noticeable as they get older.
Oh, that's key for therapists and parents to know.
Definitely. And then there's the other big group, those who actively seek out strong sensations.
The fidgeters.
The fidgeters, the spinners, the hummers, the kids chewing on their shirt collars or pencils.
Rough play sometimes.
Yeah, rough and tumble play. These behaviors, while maybe seen as disruptive, right, the research tells us it's often their way, maybe subconscious, of trying to regulate, trying to get the input their brain needs to stay alert or focused or even calm.
So it serves a purpose.
It serves a purpose. And what's really crucial, the review confirmed this. Kids with ADHD often show a complex mix of both seeking and avoiding.
Ah, okay. Not just one type.
Exactly. It depends on the environment, the type of input. Their needs aren't static. They fluctuate.
That mix is such a critical point. It changes how you interpret what you're seeing, doesn't it?
Completely.
So breaking it down more, which specific sensory systems did the research flag as most commonly affected? Any particular areas that really stand out?
Yeah, several key systems came up consistently. Auditory processing is a big one.
Hearing?
Right. Easily distracted by sounds, real struggles, filtering background noise. Think about a busy classroom or playground.
Yeah, impossible.
And genuine discomfort, sometimes even pain, from loud or unexpected noises. Startle easily.
Okay.
What else? Then there's a visual system. Bright lights, lots of clutter, visually busy environments can just be overwhelming. Makes it really hard to focus on specific visual things like reading a page or doing math problems.
It sounds like just being in certain common environments could be totally exhausting for them.
It really can be a huge energy drain just trying to cope.
What about movement?
Ah, yes. The vestibular system, that's movement and balance, also frequently impacted. This explains why some folks with ADHD seem to need to move constantly.
The rocking, shifting.
Rocking, shifting, spinning, it's seeking that input. But conversely, they might also struggle with balance, feel disoriented easily.
Right. And touch.
Tactile system, yeah. Strong aversions, disliking certain fabrics, tags, light touch.
Food textures, too.
Well, that often links more to the oral system, but touch avoidance definitely includes messy play or activities with lots of different textures.
Got it. And oral.
Yes. Oral system, taste, smell, mouth-related input. That can lead to really picky eating, strong preferences or aversions to textures and flavors, and that frequent chewing on non-food items we mentioned, often oral seeking.
Right, for regulation.
Exactly. It's worth noting, proprioception body awareness, the review looked at it but didn't find a consistent difference across the studies analyzed, though only a few studies really dug into that one specifically.
Okay, that's a really clear picture of how widespread these differences can be. But let's get practical. Why does this really matter? Sensory stuff isn't in the official ADHD diagnosis criteria, right? So for, like, an educator in a busy class or a parent struggling with routines, how does knowing this change things?
It matters massively because when sensory needs aren't met, the behaviors that result are so often misinterpreted.
Misunderstood.
Completely. What looks like inattention, the kid staring out the window, might be them shutting down from auditory overload. What looks like defiance refusing to join an activity might be avoiding a tactile nightmare. Emotional outbursts, often a reaction to feeling completely overwhelmed sensorily.
So the behavior isn't the problem, it's a symptom of the unmet need.
Precisely. The real issue often isn't the child's willingness or attitude, it's the environment itself or the way their unique brain is processing the sensory input. It's biological.
Okay.
So understanding their specific sensory profile lets us, therapists, educators, parents, provide support that's actually effective and respectful.
Right.
It shifts the whole game from managing bad behavior to meeting a fundamental need. And it really drives home that ADHD isn't just attention and hyperactivity, it's deeply, deeply connected to sensory processing. Knowing this changes everything about how we support them.
Okay, so if this is such a critical, often missed piece, what does it mean for daily life? How can we OTs, PTs, teachers, parents, even the students themselves, take these insights and actually use them, make a difference?
Yeah, moving from understanding to action, that's key. So for occupational and physical therapists listening, definitely think about including comprehensive sensory needs assessments in your standard ADHD evals if you aren't already. You're perfectly placed to educate school teams, differentiate sensory seeking from general hyperactivity.
That's a big one.
Huge. And recommend those simple, practical, classroom-friendly regulation strategies, things that can actually be done.
Okay. And for educators in the classroom trenches.
For educators, just recognizing these needs can transform things. Can you offer calming spaces, noise-reducing tools?
Like quiet corners or headphones?
Exactly. Quiet zones, trying to minimize visual clutter, maybe allowing headphones for focused work. Thinking about teaching methods more hands-on, movement-rich approaches often work wonders.
Get them moving.
Get them moving purposefully.
Yeah.
And predictability helps too. Keeping the environment organized, routines consistent. Even simple environmental tweaks, dimmable lights if possible, natural light, using carpets or curtains to dampen sound can make a surprising difference.
And what about for parents at home? Where do they start?
For parents, the absolute most powerful first step is observation. Become a sensory detective for your child.
I like that.
What input do they seek? What do they avoid? Critically, when and where do these behaviors pop up? Specific textures, sounds, times of day.
Not for patterns.
Look for patterns. Then you can start creating regulation routines. Maybe it involves scheduled movement breaks, calming activities like deep pressure hugs or weighted lap pads, maybe sensory bins tailored to what they like or need. And crucially, talk to the school. Share what you're seeing. Share what works. That homeschool connection is vital.
Absolutely. And for the students,
Yeah.
can they be involved?
Yes. Empowerment is key. For students, it's about helping them learn self-awareness. What helps you feel calm, what helps you focus, what feels overwhelming.
Giving them the language.
Giving them the language and the permission to advocate. Teach them it's okay to ask for tools, headphones, a wiggle seat, a quick break. Make it safe for them to tell an adult, that's too loud, or this shirt is really bothering me, or I'm feeling overwhelmed right now. That self-awareness is gold for long-term coping.
Can you give us maybe a real-life example? How these strategies might all come together in, say, a tricky situation?
Yeah, definitely. Let's take the school cafeteria, often a sensory nightmare, right?
Oh, yeah. The noise, the smells, the chaos.
Exactly. All that colliding sensory input. So for a student with ADHD who finds this overwhelming, instead of just saying, deal with it, knowing their sensory profile lets us make adjustments.
Okay.
Maybe they're allowed to eat in a quieter spot, a classroom, library corner. Maybe they get noise-canceling headphones just for the walk there and back, or even while eating if needed. Mitigates that auditory assault.
Right.
You could work with the student to create a little personalized sensory kit they keep in their backpack.
What might be in that?
Oh, maybe some pleasant-smelling hand wipes to counteract strong food smells. Maybe a small, quiet fidget toy for under the table. Perhaps even a little personal fan if temperature is an issue for them.
Tailored to them.
Exactly. And maybe even setting up a buddy system. Having a friend or an aide they can connect with during that time for emotional and sensory support if things get too much.
So it's layered support.
It's layered, proactive support. And, you know, this isn't totally brand new thinking. There was earlier research, like Pfeiffer and colleagues back in 2015.
Yeah.
They found children with ADHD showed more sensory processing issues across all scales of the sensory processing measure tool, and specifically linked things like social participation issues and planning difficulties to hyperactivity and impulsivity.
So it reinforces the connection.
It really does. It reinforces this long-standing but maybe underappreciated understanding that sensory processing is a crucial, intertwined piece of the whole ADHD picture.
This really does feel like a fundamental shift. Okay, so as we wrap up this deep dive, let's boil it down again. What are the absolute key takeaways we need to hold on to from all this? The core message.
Okay, core messages. 1, atypical sensory processing is super common in ADHD, way more than we maybe realized. It shows up as being extra sensitive or undersensitive, and it really impacts daily life.
Got it. Common.
2, the latest research really underscores the need for sensory awareness. That big 2025 review, it highlights just how prevalent this is and how much it influences behavior, learning, emotional well-being. It's not a side issue.
Wow, side issue. Central.
3, daily functioning and sensory processing are totally intertwined. Recognizing and actually addressing these differences isn't just nice to have. It's crucial for creating supportive environments where these kids can thrive.
Okay.
Crucial. 4, practical strategies really work. Things like changing the environment lighting, clutter, using sensory diets, planned movement, fidgets, weighted items, calming sounds, adapting teaching, breaking tasks down, visual aids, choice, tech. These things make a difference.
Strategies are effective.
And finally, 5, community and caregiver support is absolutely key. This takes a village. Collaboration between parents, educators, therapists, sharing knowledge, working together, that's vital.
It takes a team.
It takes a team.
That's such a powerful summary. So for you listening, if you're noticing several of these signs in a child or student, constantly covering ears, always on the move, maybe not responding to their name, strong reactions to clothes or food textures, chewing things, maybe seeming clumsy or struggling with balance,
Yeah.
it might genuinely be time for a deeper look, beyond just attention, into their unique sensory world.
Absolutely. Don't hesitate. Take notes. When and where do you see these things? Share those observations with a team teacher, therapist, doctor. Ask about strategies or maybe even a formal sensory evaluation.
It shifts the focus.
It totally shifts the focus from trying to manage behavior to actually meeting the child's real sensory and emotional needs. It's about empowering them, giving them tools to navigate their world more comfortably, more confidently.
This has been so insightful. It really shows how powerful understanding that sensory world is for individuals with ADHD. When we give them the right tools, the right spaces, the right routines, we can genuinely help them feel more focused, more comfortable, really ready to learn and engage.
Absolutely.
And just a reminder, for all the references and more detailed info from this deep dive, you can simply search Sensory and ADHD over at yourtherapysource.com.
That's yourtherapysource.com. And please remember, if a child or student in your life is struggling with ADHD, always seek professional help. Getting that early, informed support can make such a profound difference. Success at school, better emotional regulation, just a better quality of life overall.
It's true. And what's really fascinating, I think, is that by tuning into these often invisible sensory experiences, we're doing more than just managing symptoms. We're truly empowering individuals, helping them navigate their world with more comfort, more confidence. It's really about creating environments where every single child can feel understood and can truly succeed, no matter how their brain happens to process the world around them.